I wish it was Christmas today. I wish it was Christmas today.
It's Christmas every day.
Every day's a Christmas day. Top 5 things, come what may. Reviews, movies, and festive cheer. Join the fun, Christmas is here. It's Christmas every day.
Yes. Merry Christmas, everybody. Welcome to Christmas Every Day. This is the podcast that keeps Christmas going year round. My name is Troy, and I am your host. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to give a big shout out to all of our listeners. We've been having a bunch of good downloads. I've had some great listener emails so far. I'm having a lot of fun doing this show. It is ever evolving. So we've kind of got a, decent little format going right now, but we're going to be adding different things. If stuff doesn't work or if I just don't like it, we're going to be taking stuff out. This is going to be an ever-changing project, so bear with me while I work out my format, but I'm having a lot of fun doing this, and I'm getting some great feedback from everybody. I really, really love all the enthusiasm and encouragement that we're getting, so please keep that up. Please keep checking out the show, and thank you again so much for checking in with us. Big shout out to Christmas Morning Podcast. Those guys put out a new show every Wednesday morning, and they're the best. I wish I could just, copy everything that they do and just throw it out there, and I'd get a ton of listeners, but that's just really not how it works. But those guys are really encouraging to me, and they put on the best Christmas podcast that there is, the Christmas Morning Podcast. Check it out, please, wherever you get all your podcasts. So today is Friday, July 11th, 2025. Oh man, I've got to tell you, summer is in full swing. The weather is just really, really getting hot. It's nice and warm in Tennessee where I'm at, but we're 1 week closer to the Burr months. You know, the ones that start with September and end in December. And that starts 52 days from now. So 52 days from today starts September. It's insane how quickly everything's going. It's already halfway through July almost, and we're already talking about the Burr months. This is insane. So fall's going to be here before we know it, and then after that, you know what happens. Christmas season starts. But first, we have Christmas in July to look forward to, and there's going to be a Christmas event in my house in a couple of weeks, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be some great food. We're going to be watching some great movies. There's going to be some Christmas music going on. I've no doubt. This is going to be a great event, and so I'll have more to come on that as we iron out the details, but send me your Christmas in July ideas. I'd love to see some great pictures. I'd love to see what all you guys have planned. Christmas Everyday Show at gmail.com. I'd love to hear all about it. Speaking of Christmas in July, I did see, I think I mentioned a week or two ago, or maybe both a week or two ago, that the Hallmark Channel is doing Christmas in July movies. They started it in late June, and they're still going right now. I saw a movie on Hallmark Channel this last weekend. It was called Christmas at the Plaza. Now, I've been also checking out a bunch of other different Christmas movies on the Hallmark Channel, but just as kind of like a background kind of thing while I'm looking on my phone or while I'm doing research for the show or whatever. But I actually watched Christmas at the Plaza the other night, over the last weekend. And I got to tell you, it was a it was a really good movie. I don't know who was in it. It was some pretty girl and some really good looking guy. And I don't need to go too deep into the plot, but it's insanely similar to most every other Hallmark Christmas movie that I've ever seen. I do have a spoiler alert. I hate giving stuff away. If you haven't seen the movie, I do recommend that you check it out. But in the end, the guy gets the girl, and I didn't see it coming. I know it's kind of crazy, but it kind of worked out that way. Didn't see it coming at all. But these Hallmark movies have a really, really great way of getting one into the spirit. If you're having trouble with that, popping on some Christmas music and some nice Christmas tunes. I find that the older stuff, to me, gets me in the spirit. But the Hallmark movies definitely do it. So Christmas at the Plaza was good. I 100% recommend it. I give it 2 thumbs up. I'm currently having a cup of Seattle's Best coffee, and the flavor is campfire s'mores. Now, this isn't a Christmas blend, and you'll see over the course of every week, I like to spotlight different Christmas products that I like. Obviously, the Christmas Morning podcast was one of those. I like Christmas coffees, fall flavored coffees. I look, I don't do pumpkin spice anything. I'm doing a total boycott on pumpkin spice for like the last, I don't know, at least 7 or 8 years. I just think they've gone too far with it, and I refuse to indulge anybody with that. But most any other thing that's, fall related, Christmas related, as it pertains to coffee, I'm going to try it. And most of the year, I'm drinking something that's, really good. This Campfire S'mores blend from Seattle's Best is really amazing. And it's not a Christmas blend, but at least we're getting into the fall kind of, vein. It's absolutely delicious. Okay, so we're going to get to the countdown right now to Christmas. So, like I said, 52 days to the Burr months, the beginning of September. It is 167 days to Christmas right now.
You serious, Clark?
I am serious. It seems like that now that we're into July, the weeks are just, flying by. It's just insane, but it's 167 days to Christmas. It almost doesn't seem real, does it? Now, for those, okay, I've talked about this before, and we've got those that live among us who don't really, start celebrating or decorating for Christmas until November 1st. For you folks out there, it's only 113 days until November 1st for you strange folks who don't start decorating for Christmas until then. We love you anyway. I'm glad you're here with us. I hope you're checking out the podcast, and we want you on our team. But maybe just a little earlier this year. Try it a couple of weeks early. Take some baby steps. So anyway, we're going to get to this week's Christmas character, and I spotlight a different Christmas character every week, and this week's character, he may very well be unknown to many of you. His name is Conrad, and Conrad is the subject of a story called The Christmas Guest. He's the main character in the story called The Christmas Guest. He's an elderly man who lives by himself, and he begins this story by talking to a couple of friends, and he tells them that he had a vision that the Lord told him on that morning, and it's Christmas Day. He says that the Lord told him that he was going to visit him that day. So he's all excited. Conrad is like super, super excited. He goes home to prepare, and he wants to await the visit from God. He's a God-fearing man, and very versed in the origin story of Christmas, just like we all are. And he's excited that God is going to visit him. What shows up at his house that day is not exactly what he expects. He thought that the divine was going to just show up at his house and everything was going to be cool. They were going to sit down and maybe drink a cup of coffee or something, and then, talk over some things. It didn't exactly work out that way. Now, I am not giving this story away. Okay? I'm really not. I want you guys to check it out. If you've never heard the story, please check out the show notes of this show for a YouTube link. This story is generally best listened to as performed by Grandpa Jones, who is the legendary, Grand Ole Opry performer. He does an excellent telling of this story. I'm going to leave a link in the show notes. Please go check out that YouTube link. If you've never heard this story, I would really like for you to hear it, because it's just a very, 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 very heartwarming story about being kind to your fellow man. It really embodies the spirit of Christmas. I can't like this story enough. Again, this Christmas character of the week is Conrad from the short story, The Christmas Guest. You've got to hear it, read by Grandpa Jones. Nobody else really does it justice, even though it's just an amazing story. You've got to hear it from Grandpa Jones. So that's our Christmas character of the week. His name is Conrad from The Christmas Guest. Please check it out. Okay. On this day in Christmas history, so July 11th, 1942. This is it's kind of a slow week for Christmas happenings, but the Calvary Baptist Church in Washington, D.C. held a Christmas in July service full with carols, and they did a Christmas tree. They also did a sermon that was kind of focused on early gift giving. And this is this is the first official time the phrase was used in July to simulate the Christmas holiday. And it aimed really to collect gifts for overseas missions. So, Christmas in July, as we talked about last week, was started in 1933 in North Carolina. So, July 11th, 1942, uh, the Christmas in July fad has already made its way up to Washington, D.C. at the Calvary Baptist Church, and they held a Christmas in July service. Now, this is supposed to be the first official Christmas in July event, basically, in recorded history. So that's kind of cool. How many years? 42. So 83 years later, we're still celebrating Christmas in July, albeit for different reasons. It's much more of a commercial thing right now. I like to know that that tradition is still going strong and is going to keep going strong for a very, very, very long time. So incredibly cool. July 11th, 1942. So that's pretty fun, right? All right. So now we've got our listener email for this week. We got one, and this is either the third or the fourth listener email that we've come across. I really appreciate those. Please keep them coming in. This week we have an email from Amanda Spencer. She lives in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And Amanda, thank you so much. Seriously, it means the world to hear from you. She says, quote, "Merry Christmas. So exciting to see a podcast that goes weekly all year. Best of luck and happy holidays." Thank you, Amanda. Best of luck to you too, and happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Before I wrap up this week's show with the Christmas Carol of the week, please, please, please send me your new Christmas music recommendations to my email address, christmaseverydayshow@gmail.com. And I'll be doing reaction videos to different songs that I've not yet heard on my YouTube channel, which is also under the same name, Christmas Every Day. David Pratt, thank you again for a couple of weeks ago for the recommendation on In the Bleak Midwinter. Please, guys, keep them coming. Okay, so it is now time for the Christmas Carol of the week. Now, this song has been recorded by over 200 different artists, and it's in many people's top 10 Christmas song list. It didn't make it into mine, but it's in many, many people's top 10 lists. And I normally don't like to go with such a popular song. I generally like to do something that might be a little bit older, maybe a little bit more, not really obscure, but maybe not so much well known. Because I like to introduce new stuff to you guys. This one's just too good, really, no matter who recorded it. The Christmas Everyday Christmas Carol of the week is Winter Wonderland. This is just an amazing song. It was written in 1934 by Felix Bernard and Bernhard Smith. It's a super, super, super playful song, widely known as a romantic type of Christmas tune. That same year, it was recorded by Guy Lombardo, who did some other really, really cool Christmas tunes. One of them that comes to the top of my mind is "He'll Be Coming Down the Chimney with a Sack Up on His Back," or something like that. Really, really cool guy. And, from there, after that, it was recorded by just legends like Ella Fitzgerald, Tony Bennett. Who else did it? Dean Martin, Elvis Presley. One of my favorite versions of Winter Wonderland is Johnny Mathis. And he did this whole different bridge that nobody ever did before with this magical music. It was just super cool. But the recording that I'd like to play for, a few seconds of at least is the 1946 version done by Perry Como. And Perry Como is one of the more underrated, Christmas artists of all time. He did amazing stuff. But let's check out a few seconds of this 1946 version by Perry Como.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight. walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is a new bird. He sings a love song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we can build a snowman.
Isn't that just fun? Like, really? I mean, that's just a super fun song. It's been done by so many different people, and I wouldn't even say that this is the best version or my favorite version of it, but he's just such a, it's just kind of bouncy. It's got that big band intro before he starts singing at the beginning of the song. Just a really, really good version. I really wanted to put that on this podcast. So anyway, you can go to the link in the show notes for my Christmas Everyday Carol of the Week playlist on Spotify. If you go to the show notes, there's a link for that. Check that out. It's going to have all of our past Christmas carols of the week, and you can check them all out. And I'll be adding more every week as we go along, and we have different new Christmas carols of the week. All right. So I do believe that's going to do it. It's June 11th, 2025. We've got 167 days until Christmas. I'm going to go ahead and start decorating for Christmas in July. So Merry Christmas, everybody. Please keep sending me those emails, christmaseverydayshow@gmail.com. And happy holidays. Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you soon.
Every day's a Christmas day. Top 5 things, come what may. Reviews, movies, and festive cheer. Join the fun, Christmas is here. It's Christmas every day.